Well, hello and welcome to the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, what we're going to talk about, we're going to go through our slideshow here. Today, we're going to talk about stitching in 3D. And the things that we're going to cover today, we're going to cover what is 3D embroidery, learn the difference between ray satin, puff foam, and how Wilcom makes this possible. We're also going to learn how to properly digitize for puff foam, show you real quickly, including the settings to use, the column width and things like that, stitch angles, and the tie-off control. In the final steps, we're going to cover the formatting, how to manage layers, and to prep your files for the machines. Lastly, for your bonus, I'm going to show you how to convert an EMB file into a multi-decoration for customer added value for your customers. Here we have a design that we're going to go over, and I just wanted to show you this design and show you how inside the Wilcom Embroidery Studio software we're able to go in and give the enhanced view of a 3D effect inside the Wilcom Embroidery Studio software. At this particular point here, we have a design in progress. And right now, with our design, I want to kind of take you through and show you through exactly the steps that you can create these magnificent design files with. So here with our design, we have some already embroidered. We also have in the background here a vectorized image inside the Embroidery Studio workspace. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to go in. The tools that we're going to use for this, we're going to use, we have a tool here. As I click on the fills, we have a tool called Ray Satin. This particular tool inside the software allows you the ability to go in and produce a 3D type effect. This is not puff foam at this particular stage, but this and what it does, it mimics puff foam. And it could be a valuable tool inside your software when you have objects in your software that are too thin for the regular puff foam. And at this point right now, and I've already started this, and I just want to kind of take you through and show you this process that we use inside the software to allow you to have magnificent results. Right now, in the digitizing process, I've gone in and I've have several of these already done. And what I want to do now, I want to continue this process. And what I need to do here, I need to hide the stitches. And in this particular process, I'll navigate up top and I'll choose show stitches. It's going to hide my stitches. Now, what I also want to do here, I want to go in and I want to show areas here. Let me go in and I want to unhide everything here as well. So right now with our design, and I just want to go in and I'm going to continue to create this design here. Now at this particular point now, I'm going to go in. I've already gone in and done most of this. So as I select these items here, I'm just going to click them because they've already been created. Now I'm going to right click my mouse button here. I'm going to move these up just like this. So I'm creating this effect here by going in and digitizing these particular objects in this particular manner, just like this. Now, as I'm looking at this design here also, I'm right clicking here again to do a quick clone for you. And in this process, keep in mind, this whole thing is going to be related to using the Ray Satin stitch inside the Wilcom Embroidery Studio software. Here, if I need to go in and adjust, I can click it a second time and just rotate it slightly just like this. Let's go here. Again, I can make this smaller as it gets to the top, and I can select it a second time and rotate it like this inside the software. And now I want to actually see the stitches. So I'll navigate up to the top into my fields here, and here as I select this. So this is what we have here with our design on the workspace page now. Now, now that we've gone in and we've done this, I want to go in and I want to apply the raised satin stitch. Let me show you how this raised satin stitch works. I'm just going to right click an item here. I'm going to drag it over here to do a quick clone of it. And right now, if I go in, I want to see how this is going to stitch out. I'll go in, I'm going to change the color here. I'll just change this to brown. And next, I want to use my stitch player, and I'm going to navigate to my stitch player. And once I select my stitch player up top here like this, it's going to go through this process. It's going to stitch these. I just want to see the last thing stitch out here. So watch this. Once I go in and it completes this, and let me speed this up here also for you. Once it goes in and once it stitches everything, here on my workspace page here, I want you to watch what happens as it goes in and as it stitches that particular item here. Let me go up top here. I want to go backwards. So now I'm going to select this. I'm going to navigate up top. I'm going to change this to a raised satin stitch. The raised satin stitch here, and let me right click on this inside my color object list. I want to hide everything else because I just want you to see this. Let's try this again. Zoom in a little bit closer for you. So watch this and watch what happens. This is what happens with the raised satin stitch inside your software. Now, again, this mimics the foam process. It goes in, of course, it stitches several layers of satin stitches in order to create this puff foam appearance. Again, this is great if you're using smaller items with smaller coverage as far as the width of them, and you can't use the puff foam. This is a great tool inside your software that you can use and allow you to go in and create some magnificent designs. Now, I'm going to right click on an object inside my color object list. Here, I'm going to go in, I'm going to unhide everything else like this. And we're going to go back and let me delete this. So at this point now, I've got these objects here in my design, and I need to go in now and I want to prepare these because right now, these are regular satin stitches here. They're regular satin stitches. And because they're regular satin stitches, now I'll need to go to my color object list on the right side of my page here. I'm going to select by clicking number 3, which is the color red, which controls everything else here. So what happens also, and I want you to take a look at inside the color object list, the stitch count for each of these items here. Right now you see the stitch count here for these. Now this is going to increase dramatically when I go in and I change this to the raised satin stitch. Watch this. Now as I navigate over, I'll go back up top here to my fills toolbar, and if you want to see, you can see the stitch counts here. Once I navigate over and I choose raised satin stitch, each of those stitch counts increase dramatically, and that's normal for something like this. And even if you use puff foam, the puff foam also is going to raise the stitch count significantly when you're going in and you're using these different type effects inside the Will Embroidery Studio software. And again, this is a great tool that you can actually go in and use inside the software. What I want to do here also, I've got some graphics that I want to add to this design because I want to improve the way that this looks. And right now, go through here, I'm going to click on this guy here. And with this, I want to go in and I want to grab the vector images in the background for this. So right now, when I go up top like this, I'm going to select all the embroidery and I want to hide this. I just want the vector as I navigate. I'm going to right click my properties here. I'm going to unlock everything else. And I just want a 20, and a 25. I will navigate up top. I'm going to choose copy, and I'm going to paste this in this is what that looks like here. So we have the raised satin stitch effect already in order here for our smaller columns here. Now we're going to go in and we're going to create a foam effect using the word 20 and 25. Now this is how you're actually going to go in and create this effect inside your software. Let me go to my color object list first. Let me protect my files here by going in and locking it on my page like this. Now, if I'm going to go in fact, and digitize these letters for puff foam now, I would have to do this in a different way than what I would normally do. And this means going in and choosing different methods. Now, with the foam, one thing that's very important, the open ends that you see here on the 2. The O doesn't have these, but the 2 actually does. So in order for me to prevent the foam from pushing out, I'll have to go in and do trap stitches on the open edges like this. And this is the way I'm going to do this. I'm going to go up top here. I'm going to choose my satin stitch here, and this is what I'm going to do. I want to end here. So because I want to end here, I'll start doing my trap stitches, and all I'm going to do is digitize it just like this. Again, I need these trap stitches to close the foam in so it doesn't move. Now this is what it looks like. Okay, that's what it looks like. And I also want to go in and you're going to adjust the settings for this also, because this is a different type of stitching right now. So when I select this, when I go into my object properties, I want to change this auto spacing here. I want to change the auto spacing to the fixed spacing. The fixed spacing is going to allow me to go in and choose a much tighter density. And let me show you what it looked like before. I'm going to undo it. And this is with the foam. And this is what I'm going to have to do. Once I've gone in and I've done this, here's my starting point, my exit point. Now I'm going to have to run using a running stitch like this. I'll go slightly to the inside for this because I don't want to put a running line in the center of this because I don't want it to interfere with the foam. And when I get to the opening on this part here, I'll navigate again and I'm going to digitize. And again, if you want to, you have the ability inside the Welcome Embroidery Studio software. If I want to grab this, if I want the same type of density and settings as this one, little satin stitch here, I'll right click on this. I'll choose Make Properties Current. I'll right click on this new one and I will apply. And it goes in and does the exact same settings for this. With these also, you have to keep in mind that you don't need underlay stitches for these. These are very special stitches here, and we don't need underlay stitches for this, so we want to leave those off. The next step here for this now is for me to actually go in and digitize this. Now, if I go in and I want to, you have an option here also on the corner that if you need to go in and add a trap stitch here, just in case. One thing you can do inside the software also, I'm going to navigate up top. I want to dim my graphics. So I'm going to click on the little starfish here. And now I can go in and I want to add another trap stitch here. With this trap stitch, I'll just go in and I'll deliver this just like this. I'll go in and do this corner just like this. And this is what that looks like. And also, I'm going to go in. I want to change the stitching order. So what I'm going to do, I'll split this running stitch by going into my toolbars here and choosing my knife tool. I'm going to split this right here, making this, instead of one object, now I have two objects here. And now inside the software, I'm going to use the what we call the sequence tool. And I can select an item, control key down, choose the run stitch, choose the trap stitch, then choose the running stitch, and then the trap stitch. And once I click up top here on the 1, 2, 3, now it dramatically changed the stitching order of this now. And at this point now, I'll press S here. Now I can actually go in with my digitizing and begin digitizing the cover stitch for this. Again, I'll navigate over and I'll choose the column A stitch. And I'm also going to navigate inside my object properties here. And under my fills, I still have my fixed spacing here, which is what I'll need for this. Now I'll start digitizing. Start here. And just going to digitize this letter 2 here. Again, the settings for this have changed dramatically because now I'm doing this for a puff foam. And I want to make sure that when I go in and I'm digitizing this, because this is a specialized embroidery that I'm doing right now, it's not the normal regular embroidery. And because of this, I have to go in, make sure that everything is stitching correctly. Just like this. I'm going to stop that right here. And now I'll digitize everything else. Just like this. And this is what you can do inside your Will Come Embroidery Studio ES 2025 software. As I press S, so this is what that tool looks like now. Okay, I've got my trap stitches here, protecting it so that the foam does not shoot outside and destroy my design. And also, when I go in, because the stitch density is so tight, I will have to select the cover stitches like this. I'm going to navigate to underlays, and I just want to use an edge run underlay stitch because what happens is as the edge run underlay stitch stitches down on the fabric, it's going to help perforate the foam. So it'll be easier to pull off once that job is finished. So I'll use the edge run underlay stitch. I'm not going to use a regular length like I normally would. I'm going to drastically reduce that to 1.0. And now that edge run underlay stitch is tighter. And so when it goes in at this particular point now, it's going to help cut that foam for you, and you'll have that. And this is basically how that works. As you go in, and let me save this. So the 2 is finished, and I'll press S here now. With the O's are very simple actually, because the O's, they don't have open shape, so I can just actually go in and just digitize this. And I'll use this with my column A stitch. I'll start here. Again, as I'm digitizing this, very simple, very easy to go in and do this inside your Will Come Embroidery Studio ES 2025 software. Just like this, preparing this for the foam, as the foam has already been laid down. And here I'm stitching this on top of it, making sure everything is where it should be. And this is how easy you can do this inside the Will Come Embroidery Studio software. There's no software like it. Just like this. So I press enter. I'm going to press S to show my stitches. That's what it looks like. Any adjustments that I need to make, I can make those adjustments at any time. I'll do them now or later as I go in, making sure that everything is correct for a professional look. And I'm going to click save. So now the 0 has been completed. The next steps here now is to go in. I'll press S to hide my stitches. Thank goodness we've already done a 2, so the 2 is already completed. And at this point now, I'll just press S to show my stitches here. I want to draw a box around the letter 2. And I want to do a quick clone of this. When you select an item and right click on it, you can drag it to do a quick clone of it like this. And the 2 is a little large here also, perfectly fine. You just grab an edge and just change the size just like this. And this is how that works inside your software. Did you know you can do this here? I want to make sure also that my exit point here, I'll choose my reshape tool here, making sure that my edge run stitch here is doing what it's supposed to do there. As I click save, there's my 2. The next step for me now is to go in, I can do my 5. So with the 5, of course, now I have 3 open areas here that I need to protect. And again, I'll choose my I want to stop here up at the top. So this is where I'll start as I go in and I do this stitch. And I'm going to run. I'll press my space bar to change to my running stitch, just like this. And again, I'll do my trap stitch, just like this. Again, as I run slightly to the inside, I'll go to the end, press my space bar, and here I'll do my trap stitch again, just like this. It's really amazing what you can do inside this particular software. And right now, I'll begin my stitching. And I'll start here from the bottom. Start this right here. And I'll start digitizing, showing you how easy this is. What's helping me also is the fact that I've got some great graphics in the background, and I can see the outlines clear. And so when you're doing puff foam, any type of embroidery design work, this is going to be perfect for you to go in and use this particular method here. Stop that here, and now here I'll start. Here, just like this. I'll go back to where I started from the beginning, like this, and I'll press enter. And as I press S, this is what that looks like. Okay, I need to go in. I can always select. I can edit. These points are also, but they are needed here. You have to have these in here in order to keep that foam from shooting out. Next step here for this also, I'll draw a little guide across the top like this, and I'll make my 5 the same size as that one. And it's easy for me to go in and set this up. Let me do a box. Just so that I can get the size correct for this, because I want the 5 to be the same height as the 2, of course. I'll use my arrow key here to move this over. I'm using my arrow key at 5 o'clock. Kind of slide that over just like this. And I need for this 5 to be same height as the 2 here, just like this. I'll slide this down, just like that. I've got my 5 here. I'm going to delete that box. I don't need that box there anymore. At this point also, I can go in, and again, I have to select. I got to make sure that my density setting here is at 0.15. And as I select both of these items, I'll navigate again to the underlay tool, making sure that I have the edge run selected, and the length of this should be at 1.0 as I press enter. What I can also do with this, because it is puff foam, I can go in, I'm going to select everything. I'm going to go to my pull comp setting. I want to beef up the width of the columns here. Inside the pull comp setting, I usually start at 0.05. Here, I'll make this 25. Let's make it 45. So you can see the increase of the width of the columns here inside the software as I navigate up top here and I choose save, just like this. Next step here, I'll just select this and I'll make this red. So right now, as I'm looking at this design, I'll save this. So I've officially gone in and I've showed you how to go in and how to fix the raised satin stitch here. And again, the reason why I had to use the raised satin stitch here, because the widths on these columns, they were too thin for foam. And the raised satin stitch is an option for you to select that you can actually go in and fix that. And so this is the design here now. And this is the first part of this process. Now I want to show you a different part, because right now I've got stitching on the screen here. I've got stitching on the screen here. And I've got a vector object here in the background. Now, inside the WillCom Embroidery Studio software, you have the ability to go in and not only do embroidery for your customers. Now, with this new technology, you have the ability to go in and you can do multi-decoration inside the software. And let me show you using CorelDRAW how this process works. What I want to do now is just want to go in. I only want to select the vector objects here on my page. So as I navigate over here, let me scroll up to the very top. I want to duplicate the fingers here with this. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to select all of my vector objects here inside my color object list, just like this. And I want to go in, I want to see how this works. I want to see what I can do with this. And first I want to duplicate this. I just want to just do a quick clone of it. And so I'm going to navigate up top here to edit, and I'll choose duplicate. Now I'm going to press my control key down, hold it, grab this and slide this out. This is going to force it to do a straight line just like this. Isn't that cool? Next step, I want to stitch this. How accurate is the WillCom software in stitching this vectored image here in order for me to use this to add value to my customers? I'm going to navigate up top here to the CorelDRAW icon, and let's see what the WillCom software can do. I'm going to select everything here. Hold on for a second. Let me. Hold on for a moment here. Let me see. Not sure what happened here. Let me close this. Inside your CorelDRAW, you should have the option to go in and to actually go in and stitch this image here on the page here, but CorelDRAW seems to be locked. I do apologize for that. Let's see if we can make it get back to where it should be. Let's see here. When you have to deal with something like this, the best thing to do is to go in, and I've already saved everything. So I will have to go in this particular point here and go to my task manager here, and very easy to do. I'm gonna right click on this, and I have to end the task. Okay. And if this happens to you, this is what you will need to do to go in and to run it again. Here, I'll go back in, I'll click on my WillCom icon, and it's gonna take me back into the software. My apologies, but with this also, as it comes back in here, we can continue with our design. So this is something what we call a teachable moment. What's going to happen is once the software comes back up again, I'm going to go in and I'm going to convert that design because I want to see what the WillCom software does inside this particular area here to see how it converts that vector image into embroidery. And I'm very curious to see also how it affects it and how much editing I will have to do on this particular imaging when it does come back into the software. And this is going to be something that should be very interesting. As I mentioned earlier, being able to go in and to be able to stitch a design with stitching is a great task. But at the same time, if we want to add something additional to that, we're able to go in and we're able to print that information also. If you have a direct to garment printer, or if you have a direct to fabric printer, you're going to love this particular process. Sometimes when the customer gives you a design and you want to enhance that design, maybe they don't want to pay for the stitching part of it basically, and maybe they want that design larger, like for maybe 8-10 inches in size, and you're not going to want to stitch that design out on a t-shirt. Well, inside the WillCom software, you do have the ability to do multi-decoration and to be able to go in and print that design out on a t-shirt versus stitching it out at even 12 inches. We're almost up here. If you use the software, and depending on if you're a beginner or if you're an advanced user of the software, we have tremendous amount of features inside the software that will allow you to go in and create embroidery easily. And it will also allow you to go in and, for this instance here, once you go back in, and this is going to pop on my page here actually, I want to load those files back in there. Okay, so inside this software, it gives you the ability, if something does happen, and it's excellent because with this, you can actually go in, you can bring those designs up again, and nothing has changed. Everything is still here on my page. Again, it's the beauty of being able to go in and do something like this. Now, let's try this again. Here we have our design here, and I just want to go over to Corel Draw. If the Corel Draw doesn't work here, for something going on, guys, I do apologize for this. Let me select this here. You do have another tool inside your software here that allows you to go in and do this. You have your Smart Design tool. The Smart Design tool allows you to go in and mimic Corel in being able to go in, and I want to stitch this out. So I'll click on the Smart Design tool like this. It goes in and it does this. So it did the same thing that the Corel Draw would have done. And I'm showing you this because this is what you can do inside the software. Now I'm going to use my arrow key here. I'm just going to slide this back over on top of this here, and let me press my control key down like this. And let me bring that over. And I'm going to set this down right here. I don't need this vector tool anymore. Now, here I have the embroider part of this now. And I could also go in, I can choose to go in and select a color here on top. If it needs to be on top of everything else here, I just select it like this. I'll go in, I'll move it to the end by choosing the tool here. And this tool here, again, is called your sequence tool. And at this point now, when I go through this, I've got my black outline on top of this, just like that. So I've done this design. Next step I want to do here with this, I want to show you something really quick. Once the design has been completed, what else can I do with this design? What else can I do with it? Well, I'll tell you exactly what you can do with it. I'm going to go in. This is a EMB file. I'm going to select everything here. I want to stitch this out, but I also want to print this out. So I'm going to navigate to my file drop menu, and this is what you can do inside the software. I'll choose my virtual decoration bitmap. Now you can use, the resolution needs to be at least 300. Now once I choose that, Here, I'm going to click OK. Here's my design. I'm going to save this in my downloads folder here. I just saved this design. At this point now, I'm going to show you something that's really nice. I'm going to go to CorelDRAW. I'm going to navigate here to File, and I want to import. This is the design that I just saved. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to import this design in. Watch this. So now, when I look at this design, I can actually go in, and even let's see if we can do it inside the Embroidery Studio. Let's go to File, and let's import the graphic here. There it is. Select it, and I'm going to open this up right now. Now, this is the file that I just went in and did. Now, you tell me which one's embroidered and which one is printed. This is how awesome this software is in allowing you to go in and master things like this. Not only now can you do the embroidery for your customer, you can add value to their process by going in and printing that out. And you can change the size. You can make this 13 inches. If you have a direct-to-garment printer or direct to film printer, you can print this out. It looks just like stitches. So to accompany the puff foam, to accompany this tool here, which is called the raised satin stitch, and now you can go in and do the multi-decoration with that. And so that is very important. Okay. My question now, do you have any questions for me? Any questions at all? You can ask my organizers if you have any questions here. Now, I want to do this also. I talked about what 3D embroidery is. We learned the differences between raised satin, puff foam, and how Wilcom makes this possible. Learn how to properly digitize the puff foam. Showed you the settings. Now, the final step that we went through as far as going in, saving it as an EMB file, saving the PNG file and bringing it back up inside the software. And the bonus with the conversion of the multi-decoration file, showing you that not only can you stitch this out, you can also print this out. We have giveaways and raffles, and all attendees are going to receive a free design. And all purchases from the virtual trade show will receive a free design pack, but you have to purchase by 5/23. We have 2 raffles for purchases this week. Purchased by 5/23. Raffle number 1, the winner will receive a free digitizing tablet. Raffle number 2, the winner will receive a free seat of on-site training, which is a $400 value. If you need to contact us, please feel free to call us at our sales 877-657-7500, or you can email softwaresales@wilcomeamerica.com. You can also email and call support at 877-522-7448, and you can also email us at support@wilcomeamerica.com. Thank you so much for your time.